Hear 'em out. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hear 'em Out. I'm Jeff, and our guests for today are Nick and Sam from Venti Eats. So, welcome, guys, to the show.
Hi, Jeff. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for having us here.
Hi. I'm so excited for us to get this whole thing started, and I have so many things that I'm interested to know about your new business, right? Venti Eats. Right now, obviously, it's the time of pandemic and there's quarantine. So, is everyone okay at home when during quarantine? Everyone's fine, all good.
Yeah, we're all good. We're just locked down.
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, that's great to hear. That's good to hear. I'm personally doing fine in quarantine too. And actually, speaking of the quarantine and COVID-19, right? This whole pandemic has brought so many different changes through different things that we're experiencing, be it in education, business. And on that note, it looks like you guys have been doing quite well in terms of business, and you launched Venti Eats at just the right time, actually. So, could you tell us more about Venti Eats and what it is?
Yeah, definitely, Jeff. Just to give an overview, Venti Eats is a food delivery platform that connects you to our trusted home chefs and bakers. And if you're looking for something specific, or if you're just exploring to, let's say, find your next favorite meal, all you have to do is go to our site, order, and we handle all the deliveries, so it would be delivered to your doorstep. And yeah, I mean, in connection to what you were saying, right? Like with the whole pandemic right now, there is a rise with the home businesses because okay, some of them maybe doing it because they have the time now to pursue their passion for cooking or for baking, but for any other reasons. And we have to realize also that we are still in an economic recession that's leaving a 15-year high unemployment rate of 17.7% in April, which could be equivalent to at least 7.3 million Filipinos without work. And they have resulted in selling home cooked meals online just to earn some income. And that's exactly why we decided, we want to step in, we want to give them an avenue for this to have some stable income during these unstable times.
Right, that's really great to hear. And so, was it because of this whole recession that you came up with this idea to build Venti Eats?
Yeah, so to tell you more about that, we created Venti Eats because of some common difficulties that the merchants were facing, such as the order inefficiencies, issue of safety and security, and we also felt that it was time consuming for the merchants as well as the customers in terms of the order and delivery process. Aside from that, prior to Venti Eats, there was also no online food platform in the Philippines that specifically served these home based food entrepreneurs. So, this is why Venti Eats wanted to address these problems, and we wanted to provide an innovative, user friendly website that connects both merchants and customers. And we really wanted to make the order process significantly easier on both ends.
Thank you for sharing your thought. I mean, the whole thought process of how you came up with this business, and I think it's really fantastic. It's inspiring that you guys came up with something like this at in a time when something like this was actually very much needed. Or there was such a demand for this sort of thing with the rise of home cooks and everyone doing their own passion projects and their own sort of thing. But before I sort of get into the whole business a little bit more, people know you as Venti Eats, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I guess they don't know is that you initially started as just Venti, and over the last few months, it was more than just a big name change. You were from Venti to Venti Eats, and so I'm wondering now, what was the original idea? Was it always this food platform for home cooks?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like we originally started it off for the event industry, but when the lockdown happened, we decided, we wanted to shift to food instead because we already saw that there was a need for it because of, the inefficiency we mentioned a while ago. And with the connection from our original idea, we had some existing structure ready, and then we decided, okay, what could this existing tech infrastructure do to help others in this specific time and need? So we thought, we could help to empower small businesses, and really it's a matter of who we wanted to reach out to, and that was the opportunity here, and we that is what Venti is right now.
And when did you and the rest of the team first consider changing the business that led it to what it is now?
So, yeah, as Sam mentioned earlier, we originally started with the events platform and we have already built the infrastructure behind that. But because of the pandemic and the lockdown, we shifted into food instead. And we thought of helping others, or we thought of our core idea or our ideology, which is really to help others, and really thought that a lot of people were doing social initiatives right now, and so we also wanted to help and focus on the home merchants. So we wanted to provide them income as well, especially during these hard times, right? So aside from that, we also wanted to empower them and really touch on that sense of, or build on that sense of community of trust, especially in our website.
Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. And just out of curiosity, why did you use the word venti? I mean, from what I know at least, venti is the size in Starbucks to drink, right? I mean, is there any reason why you chose the word venti?
Yeah, that's what people usually ask us to. Yeah, they always correlate it like Starbucks, right? But yeah, venti was really the idea, of we wanted to use our creativity, and we played around with the words, some words here and there, and that's why we came up with venti. Plus, it's very unique. No one really has that name, so we wanted, to really fit the way we were also doing things in our platform.
Right, go big. Don't, don't go grande or tall, right? Venti. So going ahead, right? Fast forward to May, and you guys have put in the work and the platform all set to go. I want to know, when did you actually know that Venti Eats was ready to be launched? What was that moment like for you? Was it very surreal? Was it very exciting? How did you feel?
When we completed our minimum viable product or our website, we launched as soon as possible because we wanted to get our product out there and, of course, validate it, right? And, to tell you about our experience, I remember the first time when we made our website public. It was really a nerve wracking, at the same time, an exciting and fulfilling experience for all of us. Like, of course, imagine all of our hard work, all of our sleepless nights. It really finally paid off as we were able to launch or publish a beautifully designed and functional website. And mind you, it was built from scratch in less than 3 months.
Wow. So I'm wondering now, what was it like during Venti Eats early days, like maybe the first week or the first month even?
It was quite busy. We had lots of, thought process that went into the function of the platform. And we were also operating with a level of urgency because there was a need for it. I mean, we had, a lot of group calls and a lot of ideations going on. So it may seem like a little bit easy on the upfront now that, we have the website, it's up and running, but behind the scenes, definitely there was a lot of product innovation, use of high tech solutions, thinking about the user experience, and then we also have like the marketing and partnerships going on. So it was really piecing everything together, and you get to see what it is now. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it was quite busy, but it is worth it. I mean, we all as a team had the same goal, and we're definitely fulfilled and happy with the responses that we're receiving from both the merchant side and the customer side.
Yeah, it's so great to hear that you guys are so content with how things turned out for the business. And speaking of being content or the business doing well, what would you say are some key successes or milestones for the company?
Yeah, so talking about that, definitely getting our website online was really a memorable experience and a key milestone for the company. And also getting merchants to sign up with us because during our first week, we already had more than or hundreds of merchants signing up with us. And today, We have over 450 merchants and more than 1,600 products listed with us. And I guess what I can say is that our hard work really paid off, like seeing the results and also being able to list merchants, of course. That was really a key success for us because it really ties back to our purpose. And we really saw that we were helping them and we were getting their products online, and that they saw our purpose and appreciate what we were doing as well.
Right. And you mentioned you had over 450 merchants, and that's actually quite a lot. I mean, I didn't know there were so many home cooks and bakers and at home during this quarantine. And how did you actually encourage these local vendors to get on board? Like, was it met with any hesitation, apprehension? I mean, considering that you're a new platform, a new company, how did you get them to just get on board?
Initially, when we first started, we wanted to get our website out there. So we personally invited a couple of merchants. I mean, they had some sort, they wanted to understand how the website would work. They had to ask like a little bit of the clarifications, which is totally normal. But when we started bringing out the idea that we are doing this for them, for the whole community, and they get to list their products for free and they get to put as many products as they want while keeping like full profit, right? So for them it seemed very enticing and it was very welcoming. I mean, the whole point of the platform is really to benefit them, and with our like authentic and it's coming from a real place that we are doing this with our advocacy. It was really great to see the overwhelming warm like responses from them. I mean, honestly, like right, Nick, like a couple of them would even message us out of the blue, like they just say, oh, thank you for thinking of small businesses like us, like it's such a great opportunity. Like they're really touched because other companies, they probably target like the restaurant side, and with us, yeah, we wanted to focus and place the highlight on them. So yeah, I mean, it was really great and definitely exceeded like with what we expected.
And that's really heartwarming to hear that these small businesses felt that you reached out to them. And I think that's something that we should be thinking about, is that not just the big companies, but even, the small businesses, people that they're doing their own passion projects, right? I'm wondering now, like, did you have any sort of troubles with how quickly your platform grew? Because from my understanding, it blew up. I mean, you have over 1,600 products and 400 merchants. And that's a pretty big boom from May to like now, right? And
Mhm.
what were the challenges you faced in this ever growing and still blooming business that you have?
Yeah, so since we're a startup, we encountered a couple of rough patches, especially because, as you said, we grew faster than expected, and we had to quickly, yeah, we had to quickly adapt to the demand. And we definitely scaled faster, but lucky for us, we have a in-house tech support or tech team to optimize the user experience and to also accommodate the many merchants and customers that were using our website. And at the end of the day, despite the challenges that we faced, we were able to come up with a solution to all of that because of the great team that we had.
Right. So there's like a tech team that helps you with all of these little problems that you guys have encountered, and that's great to hear. And so now, could you tell me about the expectations for Venti Eats, and how does it compare to what it is now?
Yeah, I mean, with the original expectations, we thought, it would catch the attention of a couple of merchants, but yeah, it exceeded our expectations because now that we also are starting, to release some marketing collateral, some promotions, then a lot of them have started listing with us like voluntarily, and we see the traction that our website is gaining. So we're really thankful for that. And, you know, with the whole idea, we get to see it really accomplishing like the purpose of our website.
And what if a small business, discovers you and they want to get on board the platform? What's the process like? Is it difficult? How many steps are there? Could you talk me through the process very quickly?
Yeah, so you just have to go to our website at www.ventyeats.com and sign up as a merchant, fill up some registration details, verify your listing, and there you can already, you know, place your, or you can already see your products online.
Wow, that's terrific. It's actually quite simple. Not very complicated at all, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of our main points. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, given your backgrounds, because Comtech and ITE, was being an entrepreneur always something you envisioned for yourself?
Personally, I think being an entrepreneur is great because the possibilities are endless and you can be as creative and as innovative as you want to be. And the results are the most rewarding. But most of all, I've always had the dream of becoming an inspiration to others. And by becoming an entrepreneur, I believe that I'll be able to touch people's lives through my words and actions. So I guess that's what has led me to the path of entrepreneurship. What about you, Sam?
It's quite, really in theme with what we were doing because like Nick's also in, like she's in ITE, so it really delves into a lot of the technology in business. And then on my side, with what I was studying on, it was really more on the whole, a little bit on the operations, a little bit on the systems, how it would work also. And yeah, I mean, the great thing about our team also is we all matched and we all had the same passion to do this. But on my case, I guess I was really fascinated with the principles of business, like even in high school, like as really at a young age, like I really was into the idea of innovation and problem solving and to use this to achieve a change. And with the building of a business with a purpose, and then you act on it with the right time and the opportunity that is in front of you. I mean, what better way to do it than improving the current systems and really using it to benefit others? And that was really what I like also envisioned to see myself as when I am an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's really inspiring to hear that it's your own personal drives that keep this going. And that really just shows that there's heart into this. It's not just a thing for solely for gain, right? There's heart in this. And I think I
Yeah.
can really see that. And so you mentioned earlier about fixing things in the system that can be more efficient. And essentially maybe that's what startups are. I mean, that's something that startups can tackle. And what is it about startups maybe that appealed to you the most?
I think that the best part of a startup is the journey and the people that goes through it with you. Because every day we encounter a new challenge. And of course, we have to think of innovative ways on how to solve them. Aside from the fact, really, that startups teach you how to manage uncertainties and really pushes you to the limits of your creativity. I guess one thing that I can tell you is that startups really train you to become a team player and to appreciate the people who work with you towards a common goal.
Right. That's actually something very valuable. Working with a team, right? And being in a startup, I agree that there's a lot of uncertainty and starting anything new, really. And on that note, how would you describe the startup culture in the Philippines? Because it's a very new thing. There is a lot of uncertainty to it.
Yeah.
And so, personally, how would you describe that whole culture here locally in the Philippines?
Yeah, so exactly with what you said, right? It is pretty new, and thankfully, and we are gradually growing as a community for the startup landscape, right? And what people may not really know about is that everyone's actually really supportive of each other. Like you have all these conferences and forums, and really it's also a time where everyone can just gather together and then share ideas even. So that's something really great about what's happening right now in the landscape of the startup community. And also, like if I may add, like there's a lot of incubators and accelerator programs that's happening also at the moment. That's great for everyone, really.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to hear. And speaking from experience, being a business that people would consider to be quite successful, booming really quickly. And I guess in the most traditional sense, businesses are there for profit, right? I mean, that's in the most basic sense what a business is. But I'd want to know, for entrepreneurs in this current environment or budding entrepreneurs, what is that mindset that they should have to perform well or to survive in this kind of climate right now?
Well, I think that persistence is really a fundamental virtue of the entrepreneurial mindset. And I guess it's also one of the most critical factors in success, because great success seldom comes without effort, right? And it often comes with a great deal of determination. So I guess that's one thing I can also add. You need to have persistence, you need to have determination. And for the most part, you also need to have resilience, because it's also an important factor. It's not only about getting your company off the ground, but it is also about, when you hit rock bottom, it really gives you that kick and, makes you prepared, gets you ready to start again.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. And I think in almost anything, especially with now in this current environment, resilience and, really putting up to the struggles, no matter what they are, is a key factor in really moving forward, growing, and becoming better as a person even. And on that note, I'm now wondering, because you guys are fresh grads, and normally, if this were probably in the normal setting without any COVID, in the most
Yeah.
normal setting, right? Most fresh grads would go off to work, find a job. And now I'm wondering, how does Venti Eats fit into your schedule on a daily basis? How do you manage the company as fresh grads? Is this like a full time job for you guys, or do you have like jobs outside Venti Eats, or is this the full time thing for you?
Well, a couple of us, are doing this full time, and a couple of us are also doing it as part time. But at the end of the day, it's really having that open communication and that collaboration. So similar to the question earlier, like what is that mindset that you have to do or need to have to perform well? I mean, with our setup right now, with all the work from home, right, that's something totally new. But at the same time, well, everyone can do their own personal, other activities, as long as we are able to follow a timeline and a deadline, then it works really well, because we do have weekly meetings, but it's more on the output rather than the time, I would say, as long as we're able to balance it. And I mean, everyone in the team knows how important it is, and we follow the deadline that would allow us to launch like the new features and updates. So, I mean, that's what's great also with the team, right? Like we're able to collaborate, and we have that open communication that allows us to really delineate the tasks.
Right. And I actually really like that idea that you guys collaborate, and the whole working on deadlines thing, being efficient. It's very good for the company, I'm sure. And however, now I'm just wondering, what's the value for, let's say, merchants or customers in Venti Eats? Because there are so many other food delivery platforms out there. They might not exactly cater to home cooks, but they're still food platform. They're technically competitors, right? So what's the value for merchants and customers for Venti Eats?
I guess one of the greatest things that we're offering our merchants is that we're not really charging them, and we don't ask for anything in return, right? So we wanted to really build up on the, like, we wanted to build up the merchants and empower them, and as much as possible, we really wanted them to, get the whole profit for themselves, because it really, we really wanted to stress on our vision and what we want to build in our company, which is really building a community and fostering trust in that community. So yeah, we want to put the highlight on the everyday Filipino, and we really want to empower them.
Yeah, I wanted to add on to that, like with the whole idea with the merchants, they get to maximize their sales. And definitely one factor that also differentiates us is we are not limiting them to the kilometers for the deliveries, right? So for merchants, they're able to sell their products to customers that's not just within their area. Like we get to we get to have the whole logistics fixed that it could reach, from within the metro or even the nearby provinces like Cainta or Laguna or Las Piñas. So everything we really thought about it that could give them the maximum exposure as well.
Actually, two things strike me about what you guys said is that I'm very surprised that you reach far flung areas like Cainta all the way that far. That's amazing. And the second thing is that what struck me from what you guys said is that you don't take cuts from the merchant sales. They really maximize their profits. And that's actually something wonderful, especially for a home cook who's not working on a very big budget or not a large capital. So they really get to maximize their profits. And that's a really nice gesture on your end.
Yeah, and on the customer side, like we wanted really to make everything as seamless as possible. Like, okay, Jeff, have you ever ordered online?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, who hasn't?
Yeah, I mean, comfort of food, right? Yeah. But
Right.
yeah, usually do you order through like a G form or do you just chat it straight to the merchant?
Normally, there's a form, yeah. They give you, or sometimes it's the merchant, yeah. But most of the time, if I guess I'd order on Instagram, you'd have to message the merchant, right?
Yeah, okay. So usually, right, like correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what happens. Like we really try to research on all the process, right? So if a customer messages like the merchant themselves, and then usually what happens is the merchant has to reply back and forth, like the questions or inquiries that the customer has. And
Yes.
what happens is, yeah, like once the customer is ready for the order, the merchant would say, okay, now you can pay your order through this bank account details. So usually, I don't know, but they send it to you, right? Like the photo of their bank account details, right? And what happens next is, once you've paid and you've showed the confirmation of the payment, then you also have to think about, okay, what about the delivery? So you have to go through another mobile app just to set the delivery schedule. And what Venti Eats really does is to try to create a more seamless experience for both ends, even. So for the customer side, yeah, like they just have to go through our site and then they get to see the complete information about the product or about the merchants, and they just order and then they pay straight. And once they pay, it also calculates, like we created a system that could calculate the delivery fee already based on their location. So that, I mean, everything is just pretty much in like one click even. So yeah, that's what we wanted to point out. Like everything is convenient in our website.
Wow, you really put a lot of research into that. Yeah, you're really making that customer experience seamless and convenient. Really adds on to it. Because personally, as a person who does a lot of online shopping, retail therapy, given the whole pandemic, the last thing I want to worry about is, oh, has the merchant replied? Do I have to do this and that and so on and so forth? So the long processes are basically thrown out the window with you guys. It's just a seamless, straight to the point, no nonsense, get what you order for immediately, right? But I'm wondering now, especially with the whole COVID situation, I mean, fingers crossed, hopefully it will come to an end. With that being said, there will be a sure drop of these home businesses because they'll go back to their normal lives. They'll realize that, hey, I don't have so much time to like bake my cookies or make pastries anymore. What does that mean for Venti Eats? Are there plans to expand Venti Eats into the future, maybe looking post COVID?
Yeah, definitely. Like, there are many plans ahead for us as we, work towards our vision and, of course, to sustain our company as well. But right now, we're really more focused on our advocacy and in helping out home entrepreneurs and MSMEs thrive through these difficult times. But yeah, since you're asking about our future, then what we can tell you is that nothing's set in stone yet, but we do have a lot of ideas in the pipeline. And right now, what we're doing is that really trying to learn as much as possible from our merchants as well as our customers to really build on our product or platform and to optimize it for them.
So to cap off everything we've talked about today, the one thing we always ask your guests at the end of the show, and I'm going to ask both of you because I want both your insights on this, is what is one thing that listeners have to hear that isn't said enough? So maybe Nick, you can start.
One thing that I'd really like to share to, aspiring entrepreneurs is to, start. If you have like an idea, if you have like something that you're passionate about, just start. Because don't wait for that push that will never come. And because success only comes through action. So really, start now and don't be afraid to fail, because failure is just a setback and is a part of success.
That is so true. So, what about you, Sam? What's one thing that listeners have to hear that isn't said enough?
Yeah, I think it's really to be kind to one another. We have this certain situation that's going on, but maybe even post the pandemic, right? Like we have to continue, to support each other, to create solutions for one another as well. And really, at this moment, it's really to bridge kitchens together and really be kind to one another.
Great, great insight. And so, at this point, is there anyone else that you want to give a shout out to, say hello to over the air?
Yeah, we just wanted to thank our family and friends for supporting us through this whole 3 months process, especially to our team. And we want to continue creating value and having our journey shared with the rest of the community.
Nick, anyone to shout out?
Yeah, so my shout out is to everyone and to visit our website at www.ventieats.com. So order delicious treats from our homegrown chefs and bakers and have them delivered straight to your doorstep. And also, don't forget to like and follow our Facebook and Instagram pages at Venti Eat. So that's two eyes, guys. So make sure you do that for more updates and promotions. So we sure have a lot in store for you guys. And we also have one in collaboration with Petrer Manila for a giveaway and lots of exciting surprises for you guys.
I love it. Fantastic. And so you can find Nick, Sam, and the rest of their team on www.venti with two eyes eats.com. So what a pleasure it's been, Nick, Sam. I appreciate the time so much. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had fun coming on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having us, Jeff.
Great. And I wish you the best of luck in this exciting new venture.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Really appreciate it. We had a lot of fun.
Thank you too again for coming on the show. And to everyone listening out there, don't forget to check them out. They have so many options on the page. I'm sure you won't get hungry when you get there. Okay, so till next time, this is Jeff, your host, and this has been Hear Him Out.
Yay. I'm sorry, did I accidentally overlap with you? It was super delayed on my end.